Come along for the ride.
Welcome to the Solar Coaster, the wild ride to the solar industry told by the people living it every day. I'm Anna Covert.
And I'm Alex Herrera.
Imagine waking up, checking your monthly energy bill, and feeling your heart sink. It's a feeling millions of people around the world are experiencing right now. We are seeing a massive global shift in how people view the energy powering their homes. It's no longer just a debate for scientists or politicians in far off conference rooms. It has become a deeply personal financial struggle. Have you noticed how the conversation has completely flipped from saving the planet to simply saving our wallets?
Absolutely. For the longest time, going green was framed as an altruistic, almost luxury choice. You did it if you could afford to care about the carbon footprint of the next generation. But the reality on the ground today is much grittier. People are looking at their bank accounts and realizing that fossil fuels are keeping them on a financial roller coaster. When global conflicts flare up, energy prices spike, and suddenly families are forced to choose between keeping the lights on and buying groceries. It is an economic vulnerability that is hitting home, literally.
And that vulnerability is backed up by some pretty staggering data. The Ipsos Energy Transition Barometer polled over 46,000 people across 31 countries. 3 out of 4 people globally are worried about rising energy costs, and half of them have had to cut back on other basic essentials just to pay their utility bills. That makes it clear why people are desperate for an alternative.
It shows that the pain is universal. This anxiety has driven a massive spike in how people view foreign energy dependency. About 70% of people surveyed are worried about relying on imported energy. They see how fragile the system is. If a pipeline closes or a shipping route gets blocked, local utility rates shoot through the roof. Now, the demand for energy independence is no longer an abstract geopolitical goal. It is a kitchen table issue.
So, what alternative are they turning to? Solar is a major part of this, but how is that transition playing out locally? Historically, there has been some local pushback against large scale energy projects.
That is one of the most interesting findings. While large utility scale projects like solar farms sometimes face local skepticism, solar energy overall is now consistently proving to be more popular in local areas than any other form of power generation. Now, when it comes to rooftop solar, the support is overwhelming. 2 in 3 people now support investing in renewable energy and local storage. Now, the reason is simple: control. When you put a solar panel on your roof and pair it with a battery, you are essentially building your own mini power plant. You are no longer just a consumer at the mercy of a massive grid, you become a producer.
It is the ultimate form of decentralization. We talk about decentralizing finance, but decentralizing energy feels even more fundamental, breaking the grid down into millions of self sustaining units. But can a household truly insulate itself from global market shocks just by putting panels on the roof?
It is not a magic wand, but it is the closest thing we have to a shield. Think about how the traditional grid works. Power is generated far away, transported over miles of wires, and you pay for every single kilowatt hour, plus infrastructure costs, plus whatever premium the market demands because of geopolitical instability. Now, compare that to generating your own electricity right above your head. When the sun is shining, you power your home. If you have a battery, you store the excess to use at night. You are slashing your reliance on the external market and locking in your energy costs for the next 20 years. That predictability is what people are craving.
It is the difference between renting your energy and owning it. If you rent, the landlord raises the price. If you own, you control the asset. But does individual rooftop solar add up to a real global impact?
It absolutely does. The scale is accelerating. There is a massive new initiative where the Global Solar Council is partnering with the Global Covenant of Mayors, targeting over 14,000 cities worldwide to turbocharge residential rooftop solar and storage. When you scale this up, you are not just helping individual families save money. You are building systemic resilience. You are creating local jobs, reducing the overall load on the main grid, and making the entire system more stable for everyone, even those who do not have solar yet.
That is a crucial point. But what about policy? If 60% of people want energy independence and are ready to embrace renewables, why is policy lagging behind? Why are we still debating fossil fuel subsidies?
Policy often moves at a glacial pace compared to technology and public opinion. Governments are often caught in legacy systems tied to old regulatory frameworks and lobbying from traditional energy sectors, but ignoring this shift is a massive political risk. Leaders have to respond to the economic pain of their citizens when half of your population is cutting back on food or medicine to pay for electricity. That is a recipe for political instability. The transition to clean energy is no longer just an environmental roadmap. It is the most effective economic policy a government can deploy.
It is a complete paradigm shift. Climate policy used to be seen as a financial sacrifice. Now, continuing with fossil fuels is the luxury we cannot afford. But what about other technologies like heating and cooling?
Exactly. It is a whole ecosystem. Take heat pumps. The survey showed that 58% of the public supports incentives for them. Heating and cooling make up a massive portion of household energy use. If you couple a heat pump with rooftop solar and storage, you are looking at a near total electrification of your home's energy needs. You get off the fossil fuel treadmill entirely. No gas line, no oil deliveries, no vulnerability to global commodity markets. It is a complete package of self-sufficiency.
Yet some still argue renewables are unreliable, the classic what happens when the sun doesn't shine debate. How do we address that skepticism when people are making major financial decisions?
That is where storage comes in. Batteries are the game changer. They turn intermittent energy into dispatchable energy. But even on a psychological level, people are realizing that the traditional grid isn't as reliable as we thought either. Extreme weather events are causing massive blackouts. Having your own solar and battery system actually makes you more reliable than the grid itself during an emergency. It is about security in every sense of the word.
It really redefines security. Historically, national security meant securing oil reserves. Now, it might just mean ensuring every household has a battery and a solar panel. It is a much more democratic, bottom up approach.
Exactly. It democratizes power. Instead of a few massive utilities holding all the cards, the power is distributed among citizens. That changes the power dynamic in society, both literally and figuratively.
The momentum seems unstoppable. The economics are clear and the public is ready. But what is the biggest hurdle remaining? Is it just bureaucratic inertia, or is there a deeper challenge to making this universal?
Bureaucracy is definitely a bottleneck, permitting processes, grid connection delays, outdated regulations. But there is also an equity challenge. We have to ensure that the benefits of this transition are accessible to everyone, not just wealthy homeowners. We need innovative financing models, community solar projects, and targeted government support for low-income households. If we only transition the wealthy, we leave the most vulnerable populations carrying the burden of an increasingly expensive legacy fossil fuel grid. The transition must be fair to be truly successful.
A transition that leaves people behind is not just unfair, it is unstable. We need to make sure the life raft is big enough for everyone. As we wrap up, it is clear the energy transition is happening in real time, driven by everyday people. In 10 years, will paying a monthly bill to a centralized fossil fuel utility seem as outdated as renting movies on VHS?
I think it will. The shift is already well underway, and once people taste energy independence, they rarely want to go back. The future of energy is local, it is clean, and most importantly, it is in our own hands.
A powerful thought to end on. Thank you for diving into this with me. And to everyone listening, next time you look at your roof, maybe see it not just as shelter, but as your own personal power station. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
I want a solar coaster. Come along for the ride.
This episode of The Solar Coaster is narrated using AI-generated technology, representing Anna Covert and Alex Herrera. The material presented is aggregated from publicly available solar industry news sources. All commentary reflects reported industry developments and does not constitute personal opinions, investment advice, or endorsements by the hosts or
Solar
producers.
Coaster is proudly sponsored by Sun Energy Today, redefining what solar means for business and infrastructure. We engineer and deliver large-scale clean energy solutions, from megawatt solar farms to advanced graphene storage, designed for resilience, performance, and measurable return. Sun Energy Today, built to power what's next. Learn more at sunenergytoday.com.